I like how it starts out. It's got like a light touch, but you get some flavors right out of the gate. The experience overall is pretty short. I'm pretty surprised by that. Like, you get the flavors, you get some structure pretty quickly, and it fades out.
My mind drifted while Dan was talking, so
okay.
Go ahead.
I'll keep going. I'm getting some like younger peach on it, not like super ripe, rich peach, but the fruit is like the younger, lighter flavors of peaches. To me, a little bit of limes again for the for some of the acidic flavors, a little bit of citrus going on there, but clean and pretty well balanced too.
Right.
Straightforward, really straightforward.
I completely agree with that, and the way the acidity comes in on this one is more in line with what I'm used to. It sort of comes in right off the bat and just tapers off through the finish instead of like rising up or doing some kind of strange things like say the Poet's Leap. And the fruit flavors here are pretty standard, pretty straightforward. That said, it's built well and it's a nice wine. Really can't find any remarkable flaws with it, right?
Certainly not. Yeah, it's well put together, clean, got some enjoyable flavors. Everything's pretty short. It's really straightforward, straight to the point. You probably know what you're getting into if you're familiar with Washington State Riesling at all. So I think it's kind of a nice representative example. Not a whole lot of excitement going on. I'm gonna this.
It's a nice wine. That's a struggle.
Yeah,
right?
87 points for me. 87 points is where it falls.
I'll go 85 on this.
Okay.
The sweetness. One thing I also wanted to mention here is that if you like one with a little bit of sweetness that is very detectable, this has it. Right?
Yes.
If you want something that's a bit sweeter, like not a completely dry one, like say the Poet's Leap. Poet's Leap, I think, almost is full dry. The Evergreen's kind of in between, or the Efeste, I should say. The Gilbert is a little bit sweeter, on the sweeter side. So I think it'll please palates that are more used to that. So
yeah,
85 points.
But
nice
another
wine.
nice wine.
Very good wine.
Yep.
Very good wine. Right on the lower scale of very good. Alright, so the last one, Southard, 2008 Columbia Valley Riesling.
And Chaz met this guy when we were out in Walla Walla. Talked to him for a bit. I didn't talk to him. I don't know. You know a little bit of the story behind this at least. This is another sample, so thanks for contributing this.
I'm really sorry if you end up watching this. The people who make Southard wines, and I'm wrong. You can email me or send a message.
Put a comment up. Let everybody know how wrong we are. You're doing them a favor too.
Because I was pretty drunk when I finally made it to that point in the night. Like you were pouring your reds, and we got into a talk about Riesling. It was one of the winemakers, I believe. And I'm sorry, don't remember your name. Didn't get your card. But got into a talk about the search for the Great American Riesling that we're doing, and you pulled this out from under the table. You weren't even pouring it, and you're like, just check it out. Hopefully you like it. But I think the story is that they make most of their red wines either with purchased grapes or through a co-op or whatever. And this is they have a couple acres of Riesling like on their estate, and this is where the Riesling comes from. If that's what I remember. And
if that's the case, that's pretty cool. I mean, that means that somebody there like has a personal commitment to doing Riesling, which we both appreciate a lot. It's great to see people putting that effort into it. And another cool thing about these guys, we tell them what we usually do when we receive samples, because we don't want to tear something to pieces that someone was nice enough to share with us, is that we'll review it off camera, see what we think, and and if we don't like it, we won't tear it apart on camera. And this guy was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want your honest opinion. Put it on the show and tell me what you think. And so
brave and fantastic at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good character there.
Way to step up. So.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
A little bit of citrus again. I mean, I'd say that's pretty consistent across all four of these. I'm just getting like a light lime note, both on the nose and the palate on pretty much everything so far.
Absolutely. And this is showing more like Granny Smith apple.
Mm-hmm.
Even like a little bit, like pull out the Asian pear.
Oh sure.
Totally. That white pear, that white round pear that looks like an apple.
And I was thinking like some white plums. We got a tree just across the street that grows these little plums that are about like that big, and they're just like thick skin but a nice ripe white juice. Just a hint of richness, but not too much. Again, it's not like it's a big super ripe peach or anything like that.
And bits of acidity are peeking up even on the nose too. Like sometimes I can detect acidity through the nose, and this is showing a little bit of that. No sweetness immediately evident. So.
Agreed. Almost a dusty feel right as it touches down on the palate here.
Ooh.
And definitely a unique texture in contrast to the other three.
And the acidity. Would you say this is ripping acidity? Comparatively?
No, but
really,
if you feel that way, I could kind of see where one would say that.
The way that it goes across the tongue is pretty sharp, like someone dragging a razor blade across your mouth. I mean, it's definitely a little steely. Yeah, it's not gentle at all, but in a good way. Like it's not off-putting in the slightest. And
the acidity is definitely more full. I'm definitely getting that, from beginning to end, and it's surrounding the fruit, which is nice, and it lingers very well, which is something I don't see out of a lot of American Riesling, is on the finish. The acidity, it becomes more ripping, I think, after the wine's gone, after you swallow it. It's really drying things out, the mouth's watering. I like that sensation. A little bit of that white plum flavor is lingering.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Granny Smith skins, the skins of the apple, and like maybe even some pear skins going on there. Cool wine.
The fruit is something I just can't put my finger on in the mid-palate either. It's something that's not... I don't know. It's like a dusty, like a dusty flavor, or maybe a little bit of like a younger pear where you're not getting like the full sweetness, and it's more of that drier fruit texture. Do you feeling this at all? Like in the middle, like what would you call the fruit?
It's almost like orange or tangerine or something like that. Is that what?
Oh,
like, just don't even swish it. Just drink it down.
It's best that way.
Yeah.
And the acidity's ripping when you just put it down. I was swishing and savoring it.
Like the citrus thing you were talking about a little bit earlier. It was like this is like full on oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally a different experience, man. I've been trying to write some of that in my tasting notes, and I've been thinking we need to address that more on the show. The way you drink it makes such a difference as well. There are some wines that you can sip and swish around your mouth and get all kinds of flavors and savor it.
Full experience, and then sometimes you just want to put it down.
And some of them are head and shoulders better if you just drink it, swallow it, enjoy it just like that. And this is totally delivering that way. The flavors are more pure, the acidity is stronger, which I totally appreciate. It still hangs in well on the finish. Yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that.
A little more?
Yeah, sure, a little more. That's going to take that up to 87 plus for me, just shy of 88 points. Good flavors, well put together, and unique. So as we do this, we're trying to educate ourselves to kind of like the terroir of whatever region that we're hitting with this Riesling, because I think, you really need that experience to really appreciate people who are doing it well and really get the most out of the wine that you're drinking. So we're trying to build that body of knowledge. And it's really great to see kind of deviations or like unique things that people are doing out of that area as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing a point I wanted to make actually earlier that I forgot about, and you just made me realize again, was that this is completely unique to the other three.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one is an outlier in the way that it comes across on the palate and the way the acidity hits you, and
the fruit flavors are different.
Yeah. They're just different. Yeah, different terroir. Anyway. So, yeah, very cool wine. I'm gonna go. I'm struggling between. I'll go 88 points on it. 87. I'll be completely honest. This 87-point wine. This is really a fantastic Riesling, and I think that I don't know the retail on it. I really can't be honest, but. Thank you very much for sharing it with us. I'm glad we were able to share it with our fan base. It's a cool wine. If you see it on the shelves, definitely check it out if you like acidity, or excuse me, if you like a Riesling like that. So
yeah, so definitely some cool stuff. Thanks to people for sharing some wine with us as samples. Thanks to you guys for watching. For question of the day, we were talking. We're like, boy, it'd be fun to just to just see what people want us to drink. So. We want to do like a viewer's choice. We've done some shows based on people's recommendation, but recommend some specific bottles of wine to us. They don't even have to be similar. They can be totally unrelated. They can be weird. Don't tell us you want us to taste, DRC from 1964. It's not going to happen.
David.
but list some wines that are out there that we can get, that we can try. We'd love to do a viewer's choice show. So help us out. That's the question of the day.
That's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys.
See you next week.